What is good? It's your boy. We're back. You know what I'm saying? Michael Turner here. Um, I am. If you're watching on YouTube, you might notice that I'm in an interesting place. I'm not in my living room. I'm actually traveling this week. I've been traveling for the past couple weeks. That's why I took a bye week last week. Because if the Bengals get a bye week, I get a bye week. I deserved a week off, so I apologize if you were waiting for a pod. Hopefully, if you didn't hear from me last week, obviously I was on a different podcast though. Hear those Bengals growling, lean and hungry. That's why my buddy Paul Danner Jr. invited me on to co-host for him, or with him, I should say. And so that was very exciting. Got to tap in with the Bengals fans last week. Let them know my opinions on where we stand, all that good stuff. But this week I'm in Central Valley, they call it, in California, a little bit in the middle of California, and I've got a girlfriend who has a sister, and her family live up this way, and her sister has a daughter, so her niece has this, honestly, it's like a 14-year-old, whatever the opposite of a 36-year-old man cave is, I'm in that. A 14-year-old girls, or 15-year-old girls paradise, pretty much, which is very concerning because I don't know anything about the youth. I feel very disconnected. And then I get angry because I'm this age and they got like stuffed animals. She's got this thing. This is one of the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, and it's all fluffy and nice, and you can cuddle with it. Dude, this thing gave me nightmares as a 12-year-old, okay? This was the thing that sprayed. It's the dinosaur that it was in the Jeep with Newman from Seinfeld that sprayed him in the face and pretty much blinded him and killed him, I believe. Now, obviously, he was a bad guy in that movie, but, she doesn't know that. She's 15. She probably hasn't even seen Jurassic Park, the original. You kidding me? So it is crazy. I feel like I know that's a lot of a race thing they call culture vultures. I feel like these kids are culture vulturing my whole life. And that's frustrating sometimes. She's got Care Bears. I grew up with Care Bears. This blue one, I think it's Grumpy. He's got a cloud on his belly. She's got all the Care Bears. It's wild. And you know what else is going on? The Dragon Ball Z stuff behind me. I'm super happy that I never got into that. That seems like a expensive waste of time. I'm sure some people are out there listening to me right now very triggered by that comment. I apologize, but that's not for me. I have no regrets for never doing a deep dive on Dragon Ball Z. I'll tell you that right now. But pretty good stuff. The other thing going on in this part of the house is what you realize, having grown up with other siblings, is that this is an only child. And the parents love her very much, which is good. But I was the third of three, and my stuffed animals didn't look this clean, is all I'm saying. This thing is pristine. I was the third. My mom was like, here, take this bear that your brother spent, years 3 through 7 of his life finger fucking. Take that. That's your teddy bear for the next couple of years. You know what I mean? So, and this beanbag, dude, straight up, my mom would laugh at me if I asked for any of these things. She would have said, you have an original Nintendo that they haven't updated games for in 3 years. Go fucking play that and shut the fuck up. And honestly, when you really break it down, she was right. That's a good gaming system, and I should have just been happy with that. But this kid has some nice stuff. This is a very good. I would keep wanting to call it a man cave, but it's not. It couldn't be less of a man cave. Cartoons are watched up here, and anime, and Naruto, or Vegeta, and Goku. I don't know anything about this stuff. But we're in Central Valley, California, which reminds me a lot more of where I grew up than I want to admit. It's like actually just kind of so funny. You think about California, you think of San Francisco, you think of L.A., you think of the beach, things like that. Most of California is actually like way more close to the Midwest than you want to admit. It's like agriculture. It's a little bit of desert stuff going on. Not a little bit, like a lot of desert stuff going on. But it's very like middle America, most of this state. But obviously, um, the news portrays it in a little different way out here in California. Bunch of liberal hippies doing drugs and letting everybody do opiates on the streets. Shout out to heroin. But either way, also the other thing if you're watching this too, but even if you're listening right now, I have my own merch on my body. This is a shirt with a picture of me, and if you thought that I wasn't arrogant enough to wear my own shirt and my own face on my body, you got me fucked up. Okay, so that's what I'm. But also, I just want you to know, not only is it amazing, it's super comfortable. I've gotten the merchandise has been moving. I appreciate everybody that's bought some merch, whether it's the Yahmsayin merch for this podcast right here, or just the Road Warrior Tour merch, which is this one, which has my image on it. All the feedback is very, very positive. Mainly it's just everybody saying like the material is fire. So if you just need a shirt to sleep in, just come, go to the site, turnercomedy.com, hit it up, do the damn thing, okay? Don't be scared. It doesn't come with any of these stuffed animals, but I'll consider it. Again, Culture Vulture, dude. Snoopy, that's ours. That's mine. You don't know anything about this. You know what I mean? She got Snoopy. There's a thing from Toy Story over there. Curious George. I don't know. Also, I think Dragon Ball Z was us. I feel like that was happening in my youth. It's had a good run, though. Good for Dragon Ball Z. That's all I'm saying. But we are back. Another episode this week. I took the bye week very literally, and I did actually intend on recording a podcast last week. It was pretty insane, my schedule, and there was at one moment I was like, you know what? They're taking a bye week. I'm taking a bye week. Obviously, this year is a lot of travel with the road schedule for following the Bengals and stuff like that. So you know what? I was like, I deserve a week off from one thing, because I definitely wasn't taking a week of relaxation. The last week was super. It was fun. It was eventful. Somebody hit me up to do a show in North Carolina though like a month ago, and I committed to it, and it was cool. But you don't think about it till the week of what your life looks like. So I had to fly. I had to do a weekend of shows in LA, and then I had to jump on a plane at like 6 a.m. to North Carolina on Tuesday. Do a show in North Carolina on Wednesday, and then get on a 6 a.m. flight back to LA on Thursday, and then do something on Thursday night. I forget. Oh, spend time with my lovely girlfriend to give her quality time, and also just have like a night to sleep normal. Then the next day, drive to San Francisco. Shoot some promo in San Jose. Then the next night, do a show in San Jose. And then the following day, do the tailgate videos at the football game. And then now we're here in the Central Valley. And then I had to drive here. So it's been, I'm definitely at a point where it's cool that I'm doing a lot of stuff. I appreciate all the work that I've been getting. But, sometimes it's just like, yo, that was a crazy week. And I don't know what city I'm in or what time zone I'm in sometimes. But this is the grind. This is what I've asked for. And I'm super appreciative of having it and be as busy as I can be. It's funny, when the pandemic was happening, and like obviously nothing was going on specifically in like LA. I know I have friends in Arizona that didn't experience the pandemic, but I remember telling myself, like, I just can't wait to be busy again, and I just look forward to just having my time occupied and being busy. And then sometimes when you're back being busy, you're like, this is pretty fucking exhausting. But I'd much rather be doing this than that, right? And I'm always going to be more inclined to work hard than work not at all, because that shit drives me crazy. So I'd rather have too much work driving me a little crazy, and the more I do the work, the easier it all becomes. So this has been a very fun ride for me, for sure. Getting on a podcast last week with the Bengals with Paul Danner. He doesn't work with the Bengals, but he's a beat reporter for the Bengals for The Athletic. Super fun. That's a podcast I listen to all the time. And the feedback from that was dope. It was cool going to the stadium, going to the Niners game in San Francisco. Or I keep saying it's in San Francisco. This game is an hour south of San Francisco. The stadium couldn't be farther from San Francisco. But there were people at the stadium that said, you killed it on the podcast. Like, they noticed me. That shit is cool. I say it every time, and I'll continue to say it again. I've done a bunch of drugs, but there's never a better feeling than somebody recognizing you in public for, doing your thing. So I appreciate all that. That was very fun. And then the coming off the bye week, the other thing that I was obviously traveling a lot over the bye week, but the nicest thing was, my favorite thing about a bye week is a Sunday that doesn't matter. Like, having a Sunday that just, there are no ramifications if the Bengals win or lose or anything like that. I don't have any emotional turmoil attached to a football game that I have no control over. That's big. That was nice. So Sunday I woke up real slow last Sunday. I put the red zone on. I think I watched the games, but I kind of was doing some stuff on my computer, editing some videos and stuff like that. Just not worried. It was beautiful. My fantasy football team is on a roll right now. I got about 3 of them, and they're all on a heater. They were crushing it on the bye week. It was a beautiful, beautiful little Sunday, last Sunday, and it was nice. And then it was nice to have that Sunday leading into a Sunday that I felt like, mattered more than any game of the year, because the Bengals had won 2 in a row against some teams that maybe you didn't think were like powerhouses in the league. Now we think that the Seattle Seahawks are way better. But if they could go into San Francisco and beat the 49ers, who a lot of people thought were like Super Bowl favorites at the beginning of the year, or definitely Super Bowl contender type team, one of the best rosters in the NFL, all that shit. If you can go in there and get that W, that's big. And that makes the whole season look a little differently. And you know what the Bengals did? They rolled in there and they fucked them up. It was beautiful. They didn't it was a very close game until the fourth quarter. It was only a 1-score game, but it felt like they were in control the whole time. They had the lead for the most part of the game. I think they led almost the whole game since they scored first. And then it was the way that I felt, the level of happiness that I felt. If we lost, it would have probably been the opposite, because that would have been 3-4. You've got one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. I don't think you're locking in and going on the run that you think this year. To get that W changes the whole perspective of the next, what the next 3 weeks could look like. You could probably still lose a game over the next 3-4 weeks and still feel great about things if you end up 7-4 in 4 weeks, something like that. But the way they looked this past weekend, I mean, we're back, dude. That was the most exciting thing about it, is the team has not had a game where it was it was supposedly the toughest team that we played. I do think that. I don't care if they had a couple injuries and stuff like that. That's a great team with a great coach, and they got supposedly one of the best middle linebackers that we've seen in years. If you hear what people say about Fred Warner, he played. You know what I mean? Bosa, one of the most highly paid defensive linemen in the NFL, and a dude that wreaks havoc on other people's teams. He didn't do shit against us. We locked in on him. They still got Christian McCaffrey, one of the most dynamic running backs we've ever seen. They still got my guy, Brandon Ayuk, one of the great wide receivers coming out of Arizona State University 4 years ago, a special guy. They still got George Kittle. We went in there and we fucking did our thing, and we worked them. And so that was that's the type of game that you build off of. That's the type of game that you remember in December when you're looking for inspiration. You're like, look what we did to this team. So that was fucking dope. It was great. It was good to go into a road game. Obviously, I've been to multiple road. This is the 4th road game of the year. Tennessee, Cleveland, Arizona. That environment, those fans and the Niners fans are real deal for sure, and they have a lot of confidence for a reason. It's probably nice to get them coming off of 2 losses. I think they were a little bit less rowdy than they could have been. I think I went into it because I've experienced Niner fans in the tailgates. The last time I experienced them was Niners versus Cowboys in the playoffs. Before that game, the Niners just wiped the floor with the Cowboys in that one. But that playoff mentality, the playoff stuff that I was doing with last time I did the tailgate videos, that was a different level of hype for sure. They weren't, I wouldn't say they were scary fans, but they were just dead serious fans. Um, this was, so then I went into the game thinking that I'll go into the stadium and it'll be rowdy like that, but they were pretty pretty soft people for the most part. There was a father son sitting in front of us that would like hug on first downs, and I was like, that's, this is weird. But and then there's dudes there that are, it's a city that has a lot of, you know, successful people, even younger people are successful. You can get some great jobs in San Francisco. Also, like, we were sitting in the lower bowl. I was fortunate enough to go with my best friend. He took care of some tickets. He's the man. But we usually sit pretty good in those situations. So we're in the lower bowl in the hundreds. And but so if you can afford a seat down there, you're probably doing pretty good in the city of San Francisco, or in the Bay Area as a whole, I should say. And so yeah, those people are not the most hardcore fans. Those people are trying to diversify their bonds. They're looking at Q4 investment strategies is what they're looking for more than anything. And the Niners winning or losing isn't make or break for them. Like the dudes in the 400s, they got nothing going on in their life. You know what I mean? They're working 2 late night gas station shifts, and God bless them. People need cigarettes. You know what I mean? But those dudes, if the Niners lose, it's touch and go on these guys' lives. There's might be some domestic violence going on at the crib when they go home. These guys down in the hundreds, pretty soft. They were probably going to still be able to go get a pretty amazing Michelin restaurant dining experience later that night, win or lose. You know what I mean? So, pretty softer fans than I expected for sure. Also, it helps when you're getting in that ass the whole game, as we were. We were getting in that ass. The defensive line looked good, at least in the second half. The offense was cooking. And also, like, in Arizona, there was a moment where Joe Burrow did a spin around, and it was like, ooh, the calf is back. And then Seattle, he had a couple of running plays. There's a play that's going viral on, like, if you're on Twitter or Instagram, and you're just a football fan, I don't even think you need to be a Bengals fan to have seen this, because a lot of people are sharing it. He got out of the pocket, and he pretty much stiff-armed Bosa off of him, and then there was another sack that Armstead tried to get of Joey Burrow. Dude, this guy's so fucking back. He might be more back than he's ever been. You know what I mean? This could be a different level of him. This could be fucking Super Saiyan or whatever Vegeta's doing back here. Vegeta, you think his name is? I don't know. But, like, that's Burrow probably knows this shit. He's a cool kid growing up. He does dragonballz stuff. He knows the Super Saiyan shit. He's fucking... That was... When that happened in the stadium, you could fucking feel it. And I definitely was, obviously, excited as fuck about it. But, like, on the opposite side of that, you could feel it from the Niners fans. That's the type of play that you're like, this ain't good. If you've been watching football the last couple of years and you see Joe Burrow moving like that, it's like when there was a Chiefs game, AFC Championship a couple of years ago. He got away from Chris Jones, or whoever their defensive tackle is, and just kind of scurried away, made a huge first down. Like, that type of shit is not just a first down play. That's a play where you're like, oh, this dude's locked in. This could be a little different of a day. And he's stepping up. Best player on the field was number 9 this past weekend. And it was beautiful to see. We appreciate the hospitality in the Bay Area. And God bless you. I hope we're back. And I still do hope that if the Super Bowl happens, I don't know if I've said this on the pod, but there's a hope that I always think about if we do get to the Super Bowl, again, anytime we get to the Super Bowl, I do kind of hope that we do play the 49ers, because these motherfuckers are playing the replays of our Super Bowls from the 80s like it's never going out of style. We got to put that shit to bed. If we can just get a highlight reel of us whooping these motherfuckers, it would do so much for the psyche of the organization. It would exercise all the demons of what has happened over the Bengals last 35 years of what I've known of it. I'm 36 years old. The whole history of what we've done in that time has been fucking soured by this fucking January. Every January, February, you see these replays of this cocksucker Joe Montana, who's whispering in my boy Joey Burrow's ear, acting like they're friends. Burrow, keep him at arm's length. I don't trust this motherfucker. You know what I mean? He lets these replays play all the time. Yeah, I know they're good on the Guinness commercials and shit like that. They're doing some stuff for the community. I'm just saying, and maybe Burrow's playing chess. You know what I mean? Keep your enemies closer, friends close, enemies closer. Maybe that's might be what Burrow's doing. I actually should maybe he's got it all figured out. I take back what I said. I just don't like that he's in there whispering in your ear and shit. I don't think he's got your best interests at heart. This man has hurt us before. And so, I do hope that when we get to the Super Bowl next, I hope it's the Niners, and I hope we just whoop that ass. Or I don't even hope. I just hope we win. Honestly, I'm ready for a stressful game where we win in the fourth quarter. That'd be great. If it was like an iconic comeback, let's do that. Do whatever, but either way, as long as we beat these motherfuckers. Because that's the thing. You're going around the tailgate. When I was going around the tailgate messing with these kids, there's like 20-year-olds talking about, like, there was a kid, it couldn't have been more than like 25, 26, something like that, in his 20s. He's actually an Asian kid, so he could have been 37. He looked great. But he had a shirt that said that it was from the 82 Super Bowl or whatever, about when the Niners beat them. I'm like, dude, you don't get to do that. I think I have a shirt that has the 1990 Reds World Series on it. At least I was alive, and I was 4 years old. I don't remember it really, but that's my team more than anything. I have one of those shirts. I don't rock it a lot though. I don't rock it. I don't even rock it anymore because it's not Puma. I only rock Puma or my own merch. You know that. But like, don't be wearing a shirt that says some shit that you weren't even like alive for. I don't like that shit. That's why I don't like these fucking stuffed animals. She wasn't alive for when the fucking Care Bears were humming like this. You know what I mean? Gets me fucking angry. You have to experience these things. Like that fucking, this Jurassic Park thing. This being the fucking spray thing, dude. The spray dinosaur. This being a sweet little stuffed animal. I shouldn't be this angry. It's such a soft thing, but here we are. But, so yeah, that kid, he's talking shit about a Super Bowl that didn't even happen when he was alive. You got shit like that. And then you really don't have an excuse to come back to, which is annoying, right? Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, yeah, you beat us twice in the Super Bowl. I know. I'm enough of a fan that I know those things occurred. Okay? Shut the fuck up. Also, since 1995, they haven't had. I mean, they've been pretty bad too. They had some pretty down years. Other than, what was it? They had a couple. Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl comes out with Harbaugh. They've lost a Super Bowl or two, but like, it's not like they got a million things to flex on over the past 30 years or so. Fuck you guys. I'm glad we won. But good people. It was a good time. It was a nice time. These trips are also nice. Once a year, we always coordinate a brother's trip. So my brother was in for this trip. My best friend was in, and then my best friend's brother, who is also one of my best friends, right? It's all family. They actually are a couple Jewish guys, so what they call it is mishpucha, which is a fun word for kind of like saying extended family. Like you're in the squad. You're tribe adjacent, as the Jewish people might call it. But these weekends are always great. We do it. We've done it for I think like 5 or 6 years now. We were able to coordinate a trip and make it work. And if we all weren't there, like 3 of the 4 of us were there usually. And so that was great. So this was the weekend because one of us lives in the Bay in the Oakland area, and so it was very easy to coordinate around that and hit that one up. But we've done, like in the past, we did Vegas. That was a rowdy one. We were all fortunate enough to go to the Super Bowl that year too in LA, so that was pretty cool. Obviously, I live in LA, so that was easier. We've done Vegas. We've done We did the London trip one time. That was awesome. Um, I think we've done Florida before. But either way, we're always trying to do one a year and go to a city that we might not have all experienced. So now the Bay we have all experienced, but the Bay, it's great. It is great. If you saw my video on Instagram that went kind of hard on San Francisco having human feces in the sidewalks, that's just me speaking facts. I got some eyes on some poop this weekend. You know what I mean? It wasn't a dog turd. Would have respected it more if it was a dog turd, but you can tell when it's human poop. That's what we saw. We saw that in San Francisco. But it is a amazing city. There's like some of the best food you can get. It's got huge East Coast vibes. It has a lot of New York energy, I would say. San Francisco. So that was good. It also has great comedy shows. I got to do 2 shows on Friday night in the city. Got to kick it with some people too. It's a great comedy scene. Probably outside of obviously L.A., New York, you got Chicago. There's like a top tiers. L.A., New York, are their own thing, right? That's obviously like the best. But like the tier right below that, San Francisco's in there. San Francisco, Chicago, Denver. I always love. Austin's definitely in there now. I'm sure there's a market or two that I'm missing, but like those are hitters. San Francisco got hitters. If you're ever in the Bay, do hit up a Don't Tell comedy show. You're going to see a good lineup. Hit up Cheaper Than Therapy is a comedy club that always has local showcases. Punchline is one of the most iconic clubs in America. I've gotten to do it one time. It is pretty cool. Hopefully I'll be able to get to do that again and headline that bitch eventually. So, and I'm sure that'll happen in due time. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. My bad. Ooh. And if you're driving in the car listening right now and you didn't say God bless me, fuck you. Also, do you ever think about how there's not more car accidents because of a man sneezing or a woman sneezing? I think about this sometimes. Sneezing is I just lost complete motor functions of my body. There was nothing else that was going to be able to happen within my body other than my head whipping back and forth and sneezing, making the iconic sneeze noise. Whatever, we all have our own sneeze noises. I have mine, you have yours. When I've driven and sneezed, you're completely lost control of your car in that split second. I'm always shocked that there's not more deaths by sneezing. But these are just things I think about while I drive alone across the country in the Central Valley. But I hope you're out there not sneezing and driving. 10 and 2 if you are. But the Bay was good. I didn't do my show. I headlined a show, but it was in San Jose. And you know what we're gonna do on this tour? We're gonna learn. I think we're gonna learn. By no means would I call this a failure. I actually call it a very successful weekend, but I didn't have the pull that I needed in San Jose to like pack out the room. But you know what it was? It was one of the dopest shows I did. It was not by any means a packed crowd, but everybody there was there to see me. They fucking loved it. They were also really good comedy fans. I appreciate all the people that come out and have expressed that they're fans of Michael Turner, because for the most part they've shown that they're pretty good comedy fans, and at least they're laughing at me. But like the openers, I had Frankie Marcos on. I have a kid, a newer comic in San Francisco, Devontre. I believe Devontre Coleman, but you can look him up. Devontre. It's like D Ventre. And he was super funny, and they both opened for me, and they rocked with them super hard, which is always a nice thing. Obviously, you don't want them just to be there to laugh at me. They want to laugh at comedy in general. Frankie's great. Devontre was great. So super fun show. Shout out to the Tabard Theater in San Jose. Very hospitable. A good venue, and that was cool to see. And then, like of the 20 or so, it was only like 20 or so people. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna try to hype it like it's more than it is. But it was dope. I'm in my head sometimes like, damn, we only did this many tickets or whatever like that. But then the show happens, and I'm like, damn, this was cool as fuck. And I could be a little looser, and I could take some deep breaths and like have more fun with it and stuff like that. Because they were down to clown a little bit more. It's a more intimate show, so you guys know my style is very. I'm gonna have a conversation with you anyway, so it was really cool. I think nights like that help me as a comic get stronger, and also helps my confidence in knowing that it doesn't take a full room to have a fun experience sometimes. And um, you know, it can definitely be seen as something that would go against your confidence because there's not this level of people coming. But I know what I did this weekend in that room was dope to those people, and they're gonna tell 3-4 people. And next time we're gonna build on that. And if you're here listening from the Bay Area or San Jose and you didn't come out, first of all, fuck you. First and foremost, you know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. But come through the next time. We're gonna be doing this again. I'm gonna be continuing to grow. The goal is to continue to keep the tour rolling into next year and just keep doing more and more dates, and just being on the road until everybody knows who I am. And if you're listening and you feel bad that only that many people came out, fucking tell 3-4 of your homies. If you know some people in Baltimore, I'm in Baltimore on the 15th. Jacksonville on the 3rd of December. If you know some people in Hawaii, tell them to pull up in Honolulu. Tell your people. Let's get let's build this community. Let's keep the momentum going. So that's how this shit is gonna go. And I'm gonna continue to work as hard as I can to put all this content out, share it with people, shit like that. I'll be dropping if you're watching right now. I'm sure I just dropped a video. I got one dropping with Icky Woods. I was at the tailgate, the San Francisco, the 49er tailgate. The Bengals legend, Icky Woods. If you don't know Icky Woods, he was from the last Super Bowl run that they had in the 80s, where they did lose to the Niners. And when he would score a touchdown, he did the Icky Shuffle. It's one of the most iconic celebrations in the history of the NFL. I got eyes on him. I get to shake his hand. I've never met him. And it was amazing. We got him. We didn't do the full shuffle. We did a partial shuffle. He actually looked at me and told me that if you wanted me to do the shuffle, I'd have to pay. And I'm not very liquid right now. I don't know if you heard the San Jose ticket numbers weren't what I expected. But so I didn't pay him to do the whole shuffle, but he did do the shoulder shuffle. He got some movement going. I don't think his hips are as good as they used to be. He's got to be pushing about 60. But that was pretty cool. Got to see him. Got in there with the mix on him. And then who else did I see? I didn't see anybody else. We had some good moments though. And if you're watching this right now, the YouTube is up right now. We got the full tailgate video on. And it's just about catching this theme and continuing to build on it and pushing. I'm halfway through this football season almost. I think next week is technically a halfway mark. The trade deadline is here for the football thing, and this tour has been going great. Like the moments like that where tickets don't move like that, I'm trying to be better at like seeing that as it could have been 0 people, right? Like it could have been nothing, but it's not. And the people that were there fucking rock with me. And they stuck around and they said they don't know that it was they know that I probably would have wanted more people there, but like they don't know that was something that frustrated me like that. And I can't let that be something that does that to me. I need to appreciate every single person that is there because they went out of their way to pay money to see me. And that is dope. And so flipping my perspective on that and turning it in from something that could have potentially hindered my confidence to flipping it and being something that can strengthen my confidence and build on it. That's something that I'm just venting to you guys now, but that's something that I am definitely internally working on and something that I'm aware of, and it's not easy. And I was able to flip that and turn it into such a fun show. And anybody that was there in San Jose, I appreciate all of it. One dude came down early from Seattle to come see me. He was going to the game anyway, but he changed his flight to come in the day early and see me. Pulled up by himself. I'm like, dude, that's dope as hell. Some kid that I know from L.A. that just moved up there, he came. Some dude was there that had come to the Phoenix show. And he told his buddies, he's like, dude, I just saw this comedian that's a Bengals fan in Phoenix. He's in San Jose. We got to go. And the dudes were like, I already know about that dude. We're going already. And then the next day at the tailgate, only 20-something people there. I saw 4 of them at the damn game. What are the odds of that? I don't know if you've seen that movie Signs by M. Night Shyamalan. I know that one's trying to save aliens. But this is a sign, too, that I'm doing the right thing. And maybe I'm the way to save us from aliens. You know what I mean? You ever think about that? Spoiler alert, in that movie, it was just water. You just throw water on these motherfuckers. You'd have thought that if you were intelligent aliens flying into Earth, as intelligent as those species were in that film, that they built these machines to be able to, fly across the galaxy into Earth, they would have known that the Earth is majority water, and that's not going to go that well for them. You would have thought that the aliens would have done a little bit more research on that. But in this hypothetical situation where we're real life creating a scenario that was like Signs, maybe being a fan of me is going to save us from the aliens. And I think that that's important. Shout out to Yoda, the stuffed animal version in this situation, if you're watching. But, so yeah, we're going to keep building, baby. And we are. And also, dude, if you want to keep building, help me build, get the merch. Look at this damn shirt. This shit's comfortable as hell, bro. You know what I mean? This shit is great. Otherwise, the San Francisco trip was great. What did I have to eat? We had some dim sum. I love San Francisco because they definitely have good Asian food in general. I don't know if it was in Chinatown. They do have a Chinatown there. They've got a lot of areas. I've gone there before by myself and had good dim sum. I can't think of exactly what the place was called, but it was like I spent the afternoon or the morning Googling and like Yelp reviewing and seeing what the best one was, and it was fucking amazing. And then we were looking for a suggestion, and our buddy Ben, who lives in the Bay, he saw that there was a place that he's been trying to try for a long time that was right down the street. Walked right there. It was great. It was great. We were in an area called the Castro District of San Francisco. I don't think my buddy who booked the Airbnb did too much research, but I live in LA where West Hollywood might be the gayest thing I've ever seen in my life. That area of LA, super gay. But San Francisco, I feel like, is gay everywhere, which is cool because it spreads it. It's not as central. But if it is centralized at all, it's in the Castro district. Pretty gay. There was those American flags that they have outside of a car dealership, like the biggest American flag you've ever seen. They had the gay pride flag just right in the middle of the Castro district, like that. Biggest flag I've ever seen in my life, just rainbowed up. It was pretty impressive. They put their flag down. You know what I mean? And I was almost drunk enough to throw up the white flag at one of these boys. I'm kidding. I don't swing that way. Again, I'm 36 from Ohio. I didn't have a chance to be gay. They don't make them like that where I grew up in '86. If you are, you're deeply closeted, and you vote Republican to get people off the scent. You know what I'm saying? But definitely the gayest part of town, the gayest part of San Francisco, which is it's a double entendre. But so we were there and we went to eat, and then we were bouncing around and doing like the bar thing, and we hit a couple, vodka. We were doing vodka sodas with some bitters because we're all in our late 30s and it helps your digestive system. Shout out to bitters. But this last bar that we were at, or like one of the last bars of the night, we're just chilling, just doing bar stuff. I think my brother's in the bathroom. We're all like hanging. We're kind of end of the night energy, probably winding down. And some old dude in a very big gray white beard just comes up to me and just starts sweet talking me. And I'm just drunk and naive at this point. I just thought this dude was being nice until he finally was like, "You know what kind of bar this is?" And I was like, "Jesus Christ, dude, we got to get out of here." I mean, at least he asked for consent though, and I appreciate that. I think he was asking all the right questions. Luckily, I was aware enough to be like, "Hard out, bud, hard out." Sweet old man though. I hope he found the butthole he was looking for that night, or the mouth. I don't know what he prefers. But you know what kind of bar this is? And then you're looking around. You're looking around like Ace Ventura and Ray Finkel's house. You're like, what the hell's going on here? Jesus, I guess all the pictures on the wall are naked men. This is interesting. I didn't connect that one. I thought they were all just old football players that we were admiring. So, Castro District. Shout out to that. We did have a good breakfast though. Orphan Andy's, nice little diner. You find me a good diner any town I'm in on my tour. If you know a good diner in those towns, Baltimore's coming up. Let me know. I'll hit it up. I'll do it. And then what's the other thing I did this week? I've been chilling. I got Baltimore coming up. I got a couple other things. I am excited about Hawaii too. If you have any Hawaii advice, I'll be in Honolulu for just about a week at the end of this month for my birthday. So, not to flex too hard, but it's going down. We're doing it up. I'm going to learn how to surf and touch some dolphins or something like that. I don't know if that's the legal term, dolphin touching. And then the other thing I did was I've been just crushing some movies, but I did pencil in some time, and I got eyes on the new Scorsese film, Killers of the Flower Moon. And my only feedback there is I can confirm it was 3.5 hours. It was a full 3.5 hours. Good movie though. Good movie. If you haven't seen it, I would strongly suggest penciling in the time. But it is it's a full watch. It's a full afternoon. I think I did like at 3:00, and I made sure that we ate before because it was like you're not getting out till like 8:00, something 7:30. You know, because you got 30 minutes of previews. You know, but it definitely is like a time commitment for sure. But it was very good. It's a Scorsese movie. You know what I mean? You're not going to get a bad Scorsese movie. I don't think there is a bad Scorsese movie. The way he presents stories is just fantastic, always. You're going to get DiCaprio. You're probably going to get some of the best DiCaprio you've ever gotten. I don't think it's better than... I loved him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is one of my favorite DiCaprios. You know, there's probably better DiCaprio, but this is probably top 7, top 5 DiCaprio. It's very good. De Niro. Sometimes he's such a good actor. I don't know if he's even phoning it in or he's just good. He crushes the chick Lily Gladstone, the female lead. I think her character's name is Molly. Pretty amazing for somebody that didn't have like a million lines in the movie. She crushed. And if you don't know the story of this movie, I'm trying to think if you should do research or you shouldn't. I did. I knew a lot about the story, and I don't think it hindered the. I just knew how it was gonna end. I knew what was gonna happen, but you still don't know how the story is being told. The story is told in a way that still adds some stuff, even if you knew everything about what happened to the Osage people. But it is a movie with Indian people and white people, and you know, if you've done any research at all about America, you might know how this one ends up. It's crazy watching a 3.5 hour movie where you're like, we really were some bad people. You know,
And then you're like, well, it wasn't me. It's like, yeah, but you could have been related to a couple of these guys. I don't know if you had some Oklahoma settlers in any of your 23andMe's, but these are some bad people, and they were dumb too. That's the thing. They were not highly intelligent people that got away with just some horrible shit. That's the thing with the Scorsese movies that are long. Um, Wolf of Wall Street's like at, at least 3 hours. Let's call it 3 hours. I don't know if it's over 3 hours. Goodfellas, super long. Casino. I watched Casino recently. Super long. Those movies move though. And this isn't like a knock on Killers of the Flower Moon. The way that they move is it's exciting. Casino's like the first, hour and a half, 2 hours is like they're building, the Vegas that they want and like killing it and literally killing people also along the way. Goodfellas is like it's like fun. It's like almost like they're doing bad shit in these movies, but it's very fun, very well crafted and all that stuff. And then the last hour of those movies maybe slows down a little bit. Same thing with Wolf of Wall Street. Like that is first of all hilarious movie. Secondly, a very fun movie. As bad he is a bad person in that movie, but like fun, funny, all that shit for Wolf of Wall Street. This one is like this is a little bit. It feels all of 3.5 hours because it is just beating you over the head with what happened, and in no point there is the only humor in it is very like underlying humor, and it's really the presentation of how dumb these people are that are doing these horrible things, but they are doing some horrible things, and so by the end of the movie, it's not over yet. They're still continuing to do pretty bad stuff, and so, it can be. That's probably why it felt so long, right? That you're just like, oof, this feels bad, and but it's definitely an important story. It's definitely a very American story. That's for sure. Anytime you could see, a 3.5 hour movie about how white people fucked over black or brown people, it don't get more American than that, buddy. I hate to break it to you, but we've been doing that for a long time. And then, yeah, I would say it's an important movie to watch too, because it's Scorsese. It probably is. What has he got? One more movie in him? I mean, he opened the movie talking with his caterpillar eyebrows, talking about how how they do that at the beginning of his movies. The best ones are Tom Cruise, where he's just excited to tell you that he likes that you're in a movie theater right now. I love that. I could wake up to that. Thank you, Tom Cruise. But Scorsese's opens the thing telling you, appreciate you coming to the movie to watch this, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, this guy, he might not have that many more years on him. Considering the stories I heard about how much cocaine he consumed in the 60s and 70s and into the 80s, I'm shocked he's still kicking. So that was good. But Killers of the Flower Moon, check that one out. Hard vouch for that. Otherwise, I've been crushing crime dramas in the past couple weeks. I've watched Double Jeopardy. I watched a couple Ashley Judd movies and like a bunch of Tommy Lee Jones. Ashley Judd had a crazy little run too, but Double Jeopardy and Kiss the Girls. These I guess they're called crime thrillers in the 90s. I mean, I could say it over and over again. They just don't make them like they used to. You know what I mean? Just a nice, tightly wound 2 hour and 15-minute. Let's solve this crime. Let's figure out who killed this person. Kiss the Girls, still a very good twist. I'm also watching these with my girlfriend who hasn't seen a lot of these films, and I love knowing the moment that the twist happens and she's got no idea, and just the face, the jaw drop. That's special stuff. Do that more often. Go watch a movie where you know the twist and they don't know the twist. Embrace that moment. But then sometimes you think that the twist is gonna fuck them up more than it, and then they're like, "Yeah, I saw that coming." That's the other thing too, is with those movies is like in 1998, that movie like fucked my mind up, and then you'll watch it now, and there's so many more. There's movies that have duplicated what they've done, or like you know, there's a million movies that are like these movies now because of the popularity of those movies. So now you watch it with the knowledge of other movies, and she'll be watching some of these, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna fuck you up, and she's like, yeah, obviously it was that dude, obviously, very clearly. They only cast 7 people, and he was, one of the fifth dude listed in the credits, and he's obvious. I googled it during the movie of how good of an actor he was. So yeah, you can't put that big of a name early in the movie and then have him kind of lurking in the background. That's the killer. That's the killer. And you know what? She's right. There's a science to it. But shout out to crime thrillers though. They still are very fun to watch. Tommy Lee Jones was in a couple. He was in Double Jeopardy, and then he was in. I think we still got to watch The Fugitive. And then he was in The Client too. All those John Grisham movies we watched: The Firm, The Client, Pelican Brief. Very fun movies. As I sit here talking about 90s movies in a beanbag of somebody that has no idea the importance of these films. She got these Funko Pop things are very popular too, and I don't know if you can't see it. It's right out of frame on the video, but I can move the camera actually. If you're looking, this is just a wall of. That's about. I can't do math, but that's just an alarming amount of Funko Pop stuff, and 12 of them were just Yoda. Sometimes I try to be open-minded and understand these kids more and more, but I just don't get it sometimes. And this this is the oldest I've ever felt. About to be 37 in a couple weeks, and I feel every bit of it. It is tough, and I'm like trying to. I was in San Francisco or in Oakland, and I saw this cottage. Jack London was a very famous person from Oakland, a famous author, and they have his cabin there, and I'm trying to explain to my girlfriend what Call of the Wild and White Fang, and how important those were to me as a kid. And you're just like, my sentences make me feel a lot older than they used to. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I'm looking at her wall, she's got X-Men and stuff. I remember playing that arcade game, and then you're explaining arcade games to people. And it's like, oh, I've been to a bar that has arcade games. I'm talking about zero booze in my system. It's being 12 years old, letting the natural juices of X-Men just flow through me. Playing as Wolverine, you got fucking 20 tokens in your pocket, and you know what you're doing today? You're linking up with your buddy, and you're winning this fucking game. And he's going to be Nightcrawler, and you're just running through it. And you've done it before, but it's harder than it's ever been. And you really got to push. And to do that, you got to convince one of your other friends that's over there on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game to go get you a Coca-Cola to keep you focused. You know what I'm saying? Fountain drink. It'll rot your teeth, but it's going to lock you in for this last boss that you got to beat. This is the nostalgia that I have. But I don't even. Then you got to explain what an arcade is. It's tough stuff. Either way. But I appreciate you guys rocking with me. It's been fun. Anybody that was in San Jose in the Bay Area, I appreciate you coming out. We've got Baltimore coming up, like I've mentioned, on the 15th. It's going to be a Thursday night football game. So this show is actually on a Wednesday. So if you know anybody in Baltimore, D.C. area, Maryland, even the DMV is not that far from Baltimore. Tell them to pull up. It's going to be a very fun show. It's at the Port Comedy Club, I believe it's called, the Port in Baltimore. Looks like a super fun club. So let's do that. It is a Wednesday, so I know that's a weird night of the week, but it's Thursday night football game, so that'll be fun. Get in there. Anybody in Florida, Jacksonville, on December 3rd, we're doing that. That's on turnercomedy.com. Anybody in Hawaii at the end of November, I'm in Honolulu. And then looking forward to December, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers game in Pittsburgh on the 22nd of December, and then Kansas City, the last game of the year. And after getting this momentum going with the Niners game, I think that there was moments where I was like really dreading December, like going to Pittsburgh and not having a winning record, going to Kansas City where they fucking hate us because we have a mayor that called it Burrowhead Stadium last year. Nobody okayed that. That's one of the dumbest. That's a one-term mayor, is what he is. I don't give a shit. I think I actually know some people that know him personally. He sounds like a good dude. He also sounds like a fucking idiot for doing that, because now Kansas City just fucking hates us forever. But I was worried that we would be like limping into that game. Now, you better lock in the rest of the NFL. Go watch that footage of Burrow getting out of that fucking sack. Oh, it's good shit. So I'm excited for the rest of the year. I'm hoping these Bengals lock in and continue to elevate the team. I'm gonna continue crushing on this tour. And if you want to see me in a city that's not on the tour right now, go on my Instagram. Go to I believe there's on turnercomedy.com. There's also a link, but on my Instagram there's a form that you can fill out that you can tell me what city you're in and tell me your information, and I'll email you or text you when I'm in that city. So let me know where I should be performing in 2024. Also, the year's winding down. Let's keep this momentum going. Let's keep building. Again, as always, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Get the merch, get the shirts, the Road Warrior shirt. It's perfect for the come on. These are fall colors. You know what I mean? Hope you had a happy Halloween. Hoo day. All right. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.